Hi guys. It's been a while. I'm actually not dead. Not yet. Um, Quite some stuff has changed in that last 7 months when I last uploaded. Um, I don't know. I was thinking about doing another thing a while ago, but I actually just switched to just talking to myself and just, um, yeah, like the situation hasn't got any better. Um, Neither with myself nor with the outside world. Um, yeah, I don't know. Quite some stuff has happened, and though not really much. So, like in my independent research, you could say I came across over some a pretty big milestone. I would say that has, I don't know, quite changed my view on some things quite fundamentally. Um, I'm talking about like the Freemason rabbit hole, if you wanted to call it like that, and like it's gotten to a point where it just, with all the other research I've done before when I was like running in circles, it connects the dots quite well, I would say. Like also about like the research, what about like life, the different archetypes, like a lot of thoughts I had about life, and about this world. Just yeah, like it fit in pretty well, I would say. Yeah, you could say it's just a theory, but I don't know. I mean, I haven't studied anything, and it's just somewhat fresh, I would say. So I don't know, but yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I think it has quite some concrete evidence, if you want to see it like that. Yeah, but besides that, yeah, I don't know. Also, that of course opened quite a lot of other rabbit holes. Um, yeah, some more interesting than the other. From Yeah, but I don't know. It's just, the thing I do with my life is just yeah, just trying to sort everything out. And I don't know. It's interesting how it's still possible to hear something new basically every day through the internet. Um, I don't know. There's just so many interesting ideas out there that even, if you're full time just think about stuff, even then there's still stuff you don't think about, right? And yeah, no, that's kind of nice, and I kind of like that, to be honest. I had recently a conversation where I kind of learned to appreciate my craft a bit more, even though it's a pretty unconventional craft. Yeah, I don't know, and yeah, I had like a old friend, like the oldest friend I have. I wouldn't call him like that old, um, but I knew him since like 2014 or something, 15 maybe. Um, and we just really started doing stuff at like 2018. But yeah, he's like the friend I had for the longest time. He was a pretty simple guy, and it had its benefits and its deficits in our relationship, you could say. And it's gotten to a point where, yeah, just my pain and the stuff I go through is just not really vibing with his world anymore. And yeah, I don't know. At some point we all we did together was just play computer games, because there wasn't really much to talk. I really wanted to talk about like my stuff, which yeah, you could say he was not qualified for, or like he was just not really able to even just follow the the conversations I wanted to add. Um, and on the other point, he had like a relationship which went pretty well, but has like some pretty big struggles up ahead, and I really wanted to talk about. I don't know. I think he had a really nice girlfriend, and I think with some work they could get through that stuff. But I think also that he had to work on himself. either way, he didn't really wanted to talk about that. At one point, he said to me that, since I never had a girlfriend, I'm not qualified to say anything about that, right? Like, I have no idea about it. And yeah, so that was no option anymore. And yeah, and then I started to talk about like the political stuff, somewhat in the same fashion as I did like the last videos. Pretty unfiltered, pretty fresh. I think I was still, somewhat new on. I just have recently fallen into the right wing rabbit hole, you could say, which I kind of crawled out again, I would say. I just learned to separate a bit, and I kind of saw that, the right wing is pretty much also controlled as the left from interesting people, you could say. And it feels all more like a play. I mean, I kind of knew before that everything is just like a play. People read scripts, and it's all about like how about the public perception, about building a narrative and shit like that. And I don't know, especially like together with that Freemason rabbit hole and everything that comes aside it. Of course, out also came like the yeah. The religion that shall not be named, you could say. Um, I mean, as a German, of course, it was a hard pill to swallow. That there's more more evidence to that than I thought. I always was like thinking, what did that Austrian guy had against the Jews? Like what did the Jews do? And the orange juice, I mean, right? And now I know. Now I got them fucking know. Yeah. That's also, of course, a bit, struggling. I mean, I always had like the Second World War pretty present in my researches. It is basically something that holds a lot of strings together. Right now, I kind of understood that, it's pretty much part of the world we live in, and without the Second World War and how it went and how we perceive it, how it's told and everything, is one of the key, basics on where we're going and where this build is world on, where this world is built on. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's just something which also, of course, I had to go through that shit alone, right? So, I mean, I didn't have much people to talk to. I had like a Norwegian guy I met on DayZ, and but yeah, because he was like stuck at home because he had like an illness that made him like dead sick. But that fell apart a couple months ago. Yeah, or even longer ago. And then we found back together right now. Like it's an interesting story. But yeah, basically I had no one really to talk to about that. And yeah, after all that shit, of course, it also came to Christianity. And I'm not 100% sure yet, but I feel like that Christianity has quite, also quite a role to play. And I don't know. Just a lot of thoughts where I feel like the natural order started to be, where the natural order got started to be deconstructed. I think on a big level, it really started with Christianity. It kind of laid the fundamental, the fundamentals to the world we live in today, to globalism, to expansion, to because if you think about it, right, about religion, about how people used to have like small communities with their own religion, their own gods, their own sacrifices, worships, rituals, and shit like that, and now we have like Christianity, right? And I think especially if you're onto this like like this anti-immigration, if you like on the right wing side, and like the mixing, right? And if you have a problem with that, I think that's like Christianity already is laying a basis for that. It is also a form of in Germany. We had it in history class, in part, or like included with like this Nazi regime, which was like a big thing. We called it Gleichschaltung, um, which basically means like to set everything the same. And of course, with the Nazis, right, it means like ideology, right? That the ideology sets everything the same. Of course, we see the same today and everything. We could make fun about it, but it's actually just tragic, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. And that all that shit got me like hella depressed because I tried to talk with my dad about it, who is a Christian, which didn't work at any point. Um, in a conversation we had not too long ago, he told me that I shouldn't like watch into those things. Those are poison for the mind. And yeah, and I'm just trying to tell him, it's about the truth, right? I want to know, because I have a feeling that something is really off here, right? And I'm not the only one, and I really want to know what it is. And yeah, but and just before that, we talked about like yeah, some problems I have with Christianity, like with the I don't know how you call it in English, right? But like the sin you have from the beginning, um like okay, that's a cool religion to have a sin from the beginning, and it's not just any sin, it's the sin of wanting knowledge. GG, I would say. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that didn't went too well. We had then some, um, yeah, like some distance, you could say, for a couple of months, and yeah, I felt so bad then, and so shitty that, and it's not lonely, of course, that yeah, I don't know, I really needed something. And then, of course, like my dad is always helpful in trying to, he loves me, I guess. Even though I give him a really hard time, you could say. But yeah, he was like, yeah, there's like these, uh, fuck, how you call it, like a clinic, right? Um, so it's like a daycare, you could say, right? It's like, I don't know, like you go there from like it's like from 9 to like 15 p.m. Or you don't call it p.m. in that case, but from like 9 to 15. Um, and yeah, it's basically just therapy, basically group therapy, but more like in like a classy, more like in the school thing. You have like a time schedule, and it's like you also have like a bit sport and shit like that, and you also have some meals that you get there. So it was kind of nice. It structured my day. But before we get into that, before I went there, I didn't really want to do it. Or I mean, I just realized that I have no option left. That because I didn't went there because of the psychological help, right? I just went there because I want to meet people. And I knew that from the start, and I thought that was kind of true. It was just sad. But I mean, I've done so much shit in my life trying to meet new people that I guess I just kind of got used to it. So yeah, but I don't know. Just like the idea that yeah, I go there and that will gaslight the hell out of me, and yeah, and there's probably a lot of shit I can't say, a lot of shit I do, a lot of shit I think that better is not be heard in these institutions. And so I was preparing myself also for kind of yeah, being able to have like a double life for that, right? um, because like I really want to be honest to people, because like if I feel weird, if I feel something because they do something I don't like or something, right, then I think they should know that, because there's no point in me feeling angry at somebody if they have no fucking clue what they're even doing to me, right? And that's like the thing with these people that work there. So I have to control myself, because I know I can't tell these people that, and I shouldn't get mad at them. I shouldn't get mad at them at the first point, yeah, from the start. Yeah. Oh yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was like a bit challenging to me, and yeah, and there was also the time where I was trying to just talk with the Norwegian guy, and he was also like, he was I don't know if I said it, but he was like 40 or something, or 45, so way older than me. And he was also like really anti-Christian. He was like Christian shit, and he told me or he taught me a lot of Norwegian slurs, which which I don't know, they're like programmed now. I know them pretty well. And yeah, the Christian Schöter, and of course the pronunciation is not the best. I haven't practiced it in a while, to be honest. But yeah, yeah, and he was also anti like this especially doctors. He hated doctors because he was always saying like, yeah, they just say take a paracetamol, a stroll, and a tea, and you'll be good. And yeah, and he hated like how doctors just talk out of their ass. So he was also kind of relating when I had like the same problem with like psychologists, psychiatrists, and like people who think, oh, I know everything because I've studied 8 years, something that like humanity as a whole has no fucking idea of, basically. Yeah, and yeah, like and it's not like that. Like I wouldn't say most of them are arrogant. It's just like they get arrogant. They are made arrogant because of you do this. You get a psychiatrist to have like authority, right? To not just be a normal guy saying, I think you should do that or that, right? To be like a guy who can like fix you, like somebody can fix your fucking car. But it doesn't work like that, not yet. And especially, of course, if you look a bit into it, right? The universities with the psychology and psychiatrist thing, and yeah, and the pharma industry. Yeah, some interesting connections over there. So it's a flawed is even a bit easier, I would say. But let's just call it's a flawed system, okay? Let's just keep it that. Yeah, whatever. I went there, and no, I kind of missed the point. With the Norwegian guy, right? I wanted to talk with him, right? It was like the day before I went to this clinic thing, and I was feeling like they like I'm going to asylum or something. I felt like if I say something wrong, they will lock me in or something. I don't know. I know that the times have changed and shit, right? But it's just I don't feel too welcomed over there, right? I know they accept me as a human and everything, right? They also hella left, and not just left, but like a good mention, right? Like good humans. um, but yeah, and I wanted to talk with him, and he said like, yeah, I just gotta finish this Daisy round, be there like soon. And then it was like 17, and he wrote at like 18, 19, it's gonna take a bit longer, be right there. And then at like 22, he wrote me, yeah, almost there. And then like at 1 in the morning, he wrote me, yeah, we just finished, I'm done for the night. And yeah, I wrote him something not so nice back because I felt, I mean, well, betrayed. I don't know, hard-boiled, right? But I don't know. It didn't feel so nice. It didn't feel so nice. I really wanted just to talk to that only person, basically, that is somewhat on the same side than me. Can somewhat understand the struggle that I'm in, and yeah, I don't know. That didn't help so much, and it was basically like the energy, which carried me to the first day to the clinic. Of course, I can separate these two feelings, but yeah, it didn't help. Yeah, and so the clinic experience. Actually, it was planned to like do 6 to 8 weeks, and I actually just did 2. I think maybe 3. Not sure. I think 2. maybe 3. And yeah, it was like the first day. It was like a Thursday or something. And yeah, and I met like the people there. And I was alright. I was alright. It was not too bad. Like I said, like, you know, you got the meals, you got like something that structures your day and shit, and it was really nice, you know. And you know, at the end of the day, I could just go home, smoke some weed, watch some videos, do my shit. It was also like August, yeah, like the late August, so it was like still like a bit summery. Um, it was somewhat of a neat time. Problem was, they were drug testing, and they didn't quite like that I take weed. I smoke weed. And yeah, that was like some of the problems I had with those people in the institution was like, um, yeah, like the weed smoking, right? And yeah, and then I was like, I had like a psychologist, and she was like basically my age. I'm not too sure. I mean, I didn't ask her, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just a feeling. I'm pretty sure she was like my age or like a year older, maybe. So like 23, 24. And she, and you see it, you know, you just see it and feel it, you know, it's just in the air that this woman just is so fresh, you know, out of the uni. It's crazy. Like no practical experience at all. And I mean, not to blame her, right? Everyone has to start somewhere. But of course, I don't know. It's just we were talking about that weed stuff, and because like, like besides for me, like the institution and also with the people there, it's dystopian as hell. It's dystopian as hell, even though you know it looks nice and I don't know. It like the world isn't as shit that you see it instantly, but like after like a couple of days, you just realize how dystopian the shit is. So every morning, we sit in at a table, right? Where there's like 4 different groups in this institutions, and we're like one group. We were like I don't know, like 6 to 8 people or something. Basically, someone was always like ill or at home or I don't know. And every morning, like there was like this nurse coming with like a bag full of little plastic bags, and in these plastic bags were pills. And then she was like walking around and giving like everyone like a bag full of pills. Um, Usually for like I think like for I don't know, maybe not every day. Maybe it was just for a week or something. I'm not so sure. But I think they made it every day. So you have to come, and it's that you cannot stockpile. I guess like problematic or like meds that are like funny that you could sell to people. I guess I don't know. But yeah, like yeah, like the pills and the meds are a big thing in this institution, and of course they praise it really really high. I mean, they don't praise it directly. They just, you know, say, oh, it's a way to treat things. It's a way to treat this. It's a way to treat that. Which, for me, is praising, basically. Because they say this thing will do stuff that works. And then, yeah, of course, they say maybe it doesn't work all the time, right? But it can help. It can do something and shit, right? And so why shouldn't you take it? And of course, if you ask them, you know that this and this bad thing can happen, then they of course like roll back, you know, and say like, yeah, they can be problematic and shit, blah blah blah. But in the end, you know, and of course I get it for like people who like shit as hell, you know, who have like split personalities who cannot perceive reality as the I mean, of course we all have our different ways, right? But of course there's like of course people who perceive reality way different than we do, who have problems with that, right? Or where the interaction makes problems. And of course there are people who are like really weird and or not just weird, but maybe even just broken to a certain point, where these medications can help, of course, right? But the people I had in my group, they were all normal people. They were all normal people. They were all basically like me. They were of course not like me. They were way more normal than me. Just ordinary people. And yeah, they took all, I like most of them took took these pills. And of course, when I was talking to that psychologist with the same age, we were talking about it, and she was like, "Yeah, you could just stop, right? You could just stop smoking the weed, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I can quit smoking weed, right? When I like go and you know I like marching through an island or something, when I'm in the wild, when I have something else to do, right? When I have like a mission, then then I could do that." And then she of course said like the random, like, or not random, but like the, yeah, of course, like one of those things. She said like, "Yeah, but it could be your mission to stop smoking weed." And I was like, "Yeah, I did that before, right? Just for myself to prove it, and I can do it. It's hard, but I can do it. It's just like I have no benefit. Like when I look at the people who are in my group, right? Every morning, most of them are tired. Every second person has like an energy drink, and yeah, and everyone is just tired and misery, and and I'm like, I feel like I'm like the, I take care of myself, I mean, right? So that's like the thing, right? Like, I mean, you don't know it, you just hear my voice, but I can, fit in. I can fit in pretty well, and I mean, of course, not fitting in this group of miserable people, some more than the others, but just of course, I mean, like fitting in like a way how society expects us to behave. And I was taking that as an argument, right? That all these people who take all the pills, they don't look so good. So, and I look good, right? Like why should I change? And then she said like, yeah, it's just yeah, we can't regulate it and shit, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, but like. And then I shall take these pills, who are like somewhat regulated, who sometimes have studies who are not bribed. Um, sure. And yeah, and then she was like, "I don't want to argue with you," and yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was weird, and yeah, and then basically that kind of got me kicked out of it after like 2 or 3 weeks, because yeah, I don't know. I didn't want it to stop because you get gaslighted the hell out of yeah, like they gaslight the hell out of you. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Like we had these sessions. It was basically every day for like 20, 30 minutes. Um, it is I don't know the exact translation. It was Achtsamkeitsübung, which means like awareness training, basically awareness training. And it was basically the opposite of what you may be thinking. So we were sitting in a circle, and there was like a person, like right, like one of the people, right, with authority. And they were like, yeah, okay, close your eyes. And then they were like just telling a story, basically. And we should imagine ourselves being a stone who gets thrown into a river, who sinks to the riverbed and sits there and waves, and fucking stream is, pushing against you and shit. And basically that was basically that. And so that was one of the most ridiculous. I wasn't actually present. I just heard it from secondhand. But the most ridiculous I heard was, yeah, you're laying in bed, you're laying there, can't sleep with all the pressures, all the struggles, all the pain, and then you just believe, and you close your eyes, and no, I'm not fucking kidding. A fucking ferry, is it a ferry? I think so. Like a fucking ferry comes along, and yeah, like does like some Sandman shit on you, and then you're fine, and blessed. I don't know. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, and I mean, like, I hope they don't fucking write that themselves. I hope really they just took that bullshit out of the internet and just said, all right, sounds okay. Why not? Like, I don't know, but it's yeah. And there was also like a yoga teacher. She was like an old Asian lady, and yeah, we were taking like, we had like a session like once a week, which was like Nordic walking, which basically was just taking like a walk for like half a minute, 45 minutes, but like with sticks. with like these walking sticks, really crazy. I don't know why we couldn't just take a fucking walk in the normal way, but of course, there has to be something special. I guess she did like a 3 month training course to train us that. um, it's really complex, right? Because you have to move them opposite way, your foot and the sticks. Huh? It's really something you have to get your head around, right? And besides that, the lady was pretty nice, and I don't know. We were talking, got into like a conversation. We were talking for like the first day that we had that thing. So like for the first for the 35 minutes, and it was pretty interesting. She told me some pretty interesting stuff. Um, I don't know. She also said like some strange things about me, that she like thinks that like my hands look like artist hands, and I don't know. I feel like because like I don't know, because like usually a man my age should like have like some wear on their hands, because I should have worked my life maybe a bit harder than I did, and maybe a bit more dirty than I did, and that's maybe why my hands look so clean. But I don't know. She was also like into esoteric stuff and shit. It was a really interesting conversation. And we came to a point where I was like asking, like why doesn't like this institution, like why don't they do it better? Like why don't they, and because like because we got to a point in our conversation where I just knew that she wouldn't just ask me like, okay, like why would you do better, because she just understood. She just understood that like from the just like the philosophy, just like the idea is like the structural idea behind this institution is like somewhat flawed, right? And yeah, and she was like saying, oh yeah, these people are just here for like for like 6 to 8 weeks, right? And it's basically just like how do you say it? Yeah, like fucking transit. Basically, it's just like these people come here because they feel down bad, and they just come here to maybe go back to work, maybe to get some other therapy, maybe to do this, maybe to do that, right? And that was also like the main thing they were like asking all the time. What do you do after this? And for me, it was like I would just go back to my old life. All I really just want is to have a girlfriend, and I don't know, or not just any girlfriend, right? But someone to like a partner in my work. And to be honest, I got close to it, you could say. So I met like a guy in this group, and like he had like a big pentagram like tattooed on his like right forearm. And so because I got into that stuff even quite recently, right, with all that shit, I was suspicious, and I was like talking to him, asking him a bit, and he was, and it's like I didn't expect it at any point, but he knew quite a lot of things. He knew quite a lot of things. He was like 27. I was like 27, and yeah, and like we were like actually like somewhat on the same page, and it was like the first time I ever had that to that point. We had differences for sure. So main difference was that I was basically raised in a really left way, or like new age way, and he got somewhat more, or like not somewhat, but a pretty traditional yeah childhood. And so he never really had to like break free out of any narrative or something. So that's like some of the main difference. Also main difference is like he thinks that he doesn't want to take drugs, and especially not to gain knowledge, because he wants to take it sober, right? And he doesn't want to like blur the vision, or get like wanky results with drugs. And also because he said that these drugs can change something, right? And he wants to remain himself. And for me, as a person who I don't take like I don't take drugs, like I mean I take drugs every day. I mean I take weed every day, right? Which is like a really really low potent psychedelic, you could say. but especially like with like the LSD and shit. I mean, the last time I took it was like in February last year, and yeah. So I don't know, but the experiences I made were kind of life changing. I mean, not that life changing, but perception changing for sure. And also, I would say the drugs made me humble in a lot of more ways. It showed me how uncertain you can be about things, how easy you can be wrong about things, how easily your perception is tricked. And drugs is just, in my perception, a really intense form of outside influence, which also could be generated by normal means without taking any drugs or without injecting anything into your body. Um, and I think it's an interesting way if you want to train yourself in in exactly the thing that this guy thinks he's doing, right? To remain yourself. As you will see, he is not really remaining himself. So, yeah, we were talking a bit, and then we met after this like clinic thing, and yeah, we were having like a chat for like 2 or 3 hours, and we were like basically on the same page. We on like what the problem is, or like where main problems are, how you could solve them, and also um, seeing the power not in a physical change but in a psychological change, and using ways of enlightenment, or not enlightenment, it's a hard word, but education, you could say, and awareness to, and maybe a bit of manipulation for sure, to maybe get a more desirable outcome out of the world that we live in today. Also, which, yeah, is not really getting better by itself, it seems, right? It's not really that the savior is there for us or something, right? And I mean, I also went, yeah, into that like Trump thing and what Trump did before, right? Where he came from and which people he basically knew from the start, and in which role he's getting kind of pushed into, and of course, so you could say, yeah, at least like the Christian right wingers in America have a savior, but yeah, um, yeah, for like the normal people, not really, and yeah, and I don't know, and yeah, it was pretty insane. It was pretty insane to have these conversations. And because I felt like for one time, yeah, for finally for something, I met a person who is somewhat on the same page than me, which I always felt like I'm completely lonely on this, and yeah, and I just asked him. I was like, hey, with all the stuff I know and we could maybe do a lot of changes, and I think if we dedicate our life to this. We could maybe do the things that we want to do, right? And we could, maybe if we fail, we could at least, live a life of, we could at least fight. We could at least do the thing that we're trying to, or that we could do, right? Because all the other ways you could bring a change in this world are corrupted, right? Are part of the system, be a politician, philosopher, psychologist. It's really hard to find a place in this world anymore where you could actually do something good, and actually help to, like, not not help like the system that is like on right now. So yeah, and I was like, we could make our like own little society, and I don't know. I was quite optimistic, and I saw quite some potential in that. But in the end, he yeah, got less and less hooked on that idea, and in the end, he wanted to just balance it out. He said that why should we waste our lives for this? And I was like, yeah, because like if we don't if we don't give 100%, we're just one of those many people. There are many people like you who want to do something good, who have potential in them, but who just also want to just live their own life. And I think that like we're at the point where there is no like, if we really want to be the people that change something, we need to do sacrifices, and he was not willing to do that, which at first upsetted me quite a lot. I wasn't angry at him or something, but I, to be honest, expected something. Yeah, no, to be honest, I expected something different. I felt really connected, and that connection kind of, yeah, got cut with that. Yeah, well, we still hang out like once in a while, and it's just weird with him because like it's still that when we meet up and we talk, we're on the same page, and like he says that he feels my pain and my agony, that he was also alone for so many years, and I don't know, and so many shit, but he has a girlfriend. He is like in the goth style. He listens to heavy metal. He is in the right wing bubble, and I don't know. It's just like there it feels, I still feel so much Matrix in him, you know, and and then yeah, and he's like struggling. He has like all the stuff, and he has like all these moments, um, and then he just cannot enjoy them for some reason, and then he wants to find the reason, and he cannot find it, and then he gets like his focus got taken away from something else and shit, and I don't know, it's just really annoying at some point. It's just really annoying, to be honest. And yeah, I don't know. He comes too late often, and I don't know. It's just really a pain, because at the beginning I felt like, you know, he just has no life like me, and we could meet up like, I don't know, every day, every second day, I don't know, like somewhat regularly, which turned out to, yeah, not work at at any means. Yeah, also, I don't know. He is smart, or he can be smart, but I feel like he has way more knowledge than he's actually smart, and can actually use the knowledge and combine it. Um, because I don't know, I was like talking to him. You have that girlfriend, and then he is like trying to say like, yeah, the girlfriend is not big of a deal. Often we just hang around and do nothing, and I'm just laying in the bed, and she's like reading a book or something, and then I'm saying that sounds fucking beautiful, man. That's like something I would just love to be in, you know, just to appreciate that moment, you know. That must be so peaceful. And then he's like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's pretty nice. And then I'm like, bro, didn't you just wanted to tell me that's not big of a deal? And then he's like, nah, you know. And then he's like, I never, you know. And I don't know. I feel like he is emotionally way more, yeah, controlled than I thought at the beginning. He's also a person who attracts conflicts quite easily in the public space. Great. Yeah. By the way, if sorry, if the audio quality changed, the microphone on my PC kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's a long story, but it's not really working anymore. So I switched to my phone, and yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I had that guy, but like I said, like it's really a pain to do something, and when we do something, it's like for 2 or 3 hours, and it's gotten to a point where it's a bit like with other people that I met, where they basically just come around to just smoke weed here. So he's coming around, and usually he had like done like 20 million things, and has been there, has been here, you know, and then he comes here, is completely done with the day, and all he wants to do is just smoke a joint and just chill, and basically, yeah, you know, and I'm just, and yeah, and that's like the time I get with him, and it's the same I had like with that old friend, which I broke up with basically. Well, it was basically the same, right? He was also like he was even more of a simpler guy, right? My old friend. And then he also was like at the gym. He was like, you know, at this at his work. He probably fucked his girlfriend and made fucking dinner and shit. And after all that stuff, you know, at 20 o'clock, is like the time where I get to play with him for like the last 2 hours of his day, where he usually, of course, wasn't in the best capacity. Or not in the best, yeah, it was just not much available at some times. And I don't know, I feel like I'm a person who has a lot of energy and a lot of, let's say, brain activity. And then it's like just a bit frustrating to get like these people who are like hella exhausted and basically just want to chill. And then I'm sitting there and I just want to talk about like, I don't know, everything basically. And I don't know, because I feel like, why can't these people just chill on themselves, you know? And or if they want to just chill with me, there was also something this guy said from the clinic, that he just wants to, you know, maybe just smoke a joint, and also, which is funny that he's so anti-drugs, but now he's just like smoking a joint every time he's with me. I don't even do it anymore, you know. I just wait for him to say, can you roll up one, you know? And yeah, because he's really anti-drugs, and the girlfriend he has, she's also somewhat pretty anti-drugs, and especially anti-weed. Yeah, and he's also not saying it to her. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. That was the one thing, like this guy from the clinic. But yeah, it could have been a life changer, and I mean, it has done quite something with me. But yeah, my life hasn't changed. I also met a girl in the clinic, but yeah, we weren't really attracted to one another, and it wasn't really like I mean, it was also like a weird phase where it was like somewhat in the air or something, and I don't know, yeah. But in the end, there was nothing from the start, and she was just, yeah, I don't know, she just was really bad down, you know, and basically you could say anything to her, you know. She was just so bad down in life that she didn't give any shit anymore. Like, I could tell her like, you know, I don't know, tell her about anything basically. She would register it. Sometimes she would also understand it, but most of the time, like, yeah, yeah, it was interesting. I was trying to help her a bit. She had like the main problem of just like her life feeling like hella empty. I was trying to work with that on her, but like at some point she just closed up and wanted to do it her own way, which is basically taking pills and working herself to death. But it is what it is. Yeah, that was also like a thing. Like, I met that woman, like, I don't know, like once a week maybe for some time, which was kind of nice just to have somebody to talk. She was also smoking, and yeah, that was something. But in the end, also, like, my life didn't change at all. And yeah, so, and now I'm basically here. Like, the clinic is now months ago, like, I don't know. And yeah, also there was Christmas. I had like quite some struggles on Christmas with the family. Yeah, I had basically like a schizophrenic, I don't know, exposure, where, yeah, I don't know, I just couldn't take reality anymore, and I just laughed and cried, and it was all a joke, and I don't know. Then I was New Year's Eve, where I was a friend of mine from the Bundeswehr, from the military. He was supposed to come around, and he wanted to do like some like fucking I don't know, war journalism or something, or war tourism, because he wanted to see like the bad how bad it is in Berlin at New Year's Eve. And yeah, but in the end he didn't came around. He didn't took the train for some for reasons. And yeah, no, and then I was like sitting here just alone on New Year's Eve, and I don't know, it was cold outside, you know, all the people, and then, I don't know. And then at like 0 o'clock, when like of course, no, all the shit happened outside, I was just standing in my kitchen, at the kitchen window, you know, everything was dark, because I was already ready to go to bed. I just, you know, I just felt so tired of life, that I just, you know, wanted a last cigarette, and hear the fireworks at 0 o'clock, and just take my misery to the bed, to the sleep. And yeah, and that was like my New Year's Eve, and when I was like standing at that kitchen with with the cigarette in the hand, I was like, holy shit, where the fuck am I? What the fuck is this life? What the fuck have I gotten myself into? You know? And I don't know, man. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. Um, Trying to do an actual change in this world is already much, but it would be okay. You know, it would be okay. I could take it like a man and stop whining about it, and do my thing. Because that's what, of course, what it comes up to. But it's just this loneliness and like, you know, I could take, you know, being rejected by people, and stuff like that. I could take that if I would have people that would actually greet me, you know, who would actually not, maybe not just include, right, but if I just would have people I could call my own, you know, where if I could have like a place or like a community or anything, you know, and the only thing I have is myself and this apartment. At least I have this apartment, to be honest. That is something. But with my dad, with my mom, with the whole of my family, I feel so disconnected. With my mom, maybe even the least. So, like, from the mind, from the soul, I feel the least or the most connected with my mom. But the mom is the one I have the least contact with, which is actually none, because we had some struggles. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just, yeah. And that was really tough. And I just really told myself that, yeah, I think that's the last year. Like, because I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. When my depression first got to a point where it really like came to the death, you would say, I just realized that that my life, if I choose life, it won't be easy. That to choose death is a reasonable choice I had and still have. I think it's a reasonable choice. Of course, also with the knowledge that I all have, it didn't change. It didn't change. Of course, you could also say now, yeah, there are people out there who exactly have the plan that happens with you, right? And yeah, I would say, yeah, of course, I would like to fight against that. You know, fight for not just the young white male, not just the Europeans, but also maybe just for the sober mind, right? That but yeah, it's not that like my the world doesn't show me that, right? The world doesn't show me it wants a savior. My dad tells me I shouldn't educate myself with that shit because it's poison for the mind. And yeah, and also people tell me, right, you shouldn't do this shit, you shouldn't do this to yourself. Just try to have a normal life like we all do. You know, even though it's the end of the world, don't blame yourself. But I don't know. I feel like blaming myself. And I feel like it's like the end of the world. Because where are we heading? Where are we heading, and do I really want to provide my, my genes for this upcoming world? Even though it maybe is just a phase and it will get better after, you know, maybe I will just stay here, you know, with the old time, you know, even though it has basically already left. Also something people tell me all the time, you know, like the traditions and the natural order, you know, everything of that is just lost, you know. People are people are like, they don't even see like an escape anymore. They just have accepted it. And the people who don't accept it, like the guy I met in the clinic, they do like a compromise where they say, okay, I don't accept the system that much, but I accept it enough to just live in it and basically do nothing. I mean, of course, you can do something, right? Like a lot of people do something, but it's not enough. It's just frankly not enough, it seems. Because otherwise, there would be something I could order myself below, right? Where I could help and where I could fight for the good cause, right? But I know it's just full of religion and controlled politicians and I don't know, like, and like the internet has gotten a pretty weird place, if I'm honest. like how all the archetypes are getting hooked on shit, how there's like a niche for like everyone, especially like for those who are not so compliant, you could say. So they get like a niche where they can like be uncompliant, but like in a way where it doesn't harm society at any means. Then also something like this guy from the clinic, he was like really into like Lord of the Rings and like Warhammer and like this fictional shit. And I mean, also I got like Star Wars got me really going in my childhood. But like he was like telling me so much Warhammer lore, and I was like, that sounds everything so interesting and so much related to our world, right? But like, why don't you extract like the stuff? Like, why don't you like do something with like the real world, right? I thought, and then like people should have like the possibility to escape and shit. I don't know. It's just like I get that all the time you have to do compromises, but I feel like he also is like talking about like being a man, being a hero, having the shit as a duty and shit, doing something for our own people, and I don't know, I feel like he would like to be like the guy, but he just doesn't really want to sacrifice anything for it, and so I think there won't come much out of it. Is my feeling. Yeah, besides all that, then just recently my grandma died, and she was like, really, really bad down. And I actually got my fucking lazy ass up, and I actually went to her like, I don't know, like 7 times, maybe 6 or 7 times, like in the last 2 weeks that she was alive. Because she was like saying, I want to die, and she was just laying there, basically unable to do anything. She wasn't eating, she wasn't really, she wasn't enjoying it, and I don't know, I kind of felt it, even though I am young and alive, I just feel as it's just unable to do anything with myself, just like her, and just like her, she drank like Rotkäppchen, some wine, or not wine, but I don't know how you call it in English. Similar to wine, you maybe know what I mean. Rotkäppchen, you know it. If you know it, you know it. Rotkäppchen halbtrocken. Exactly, and and I don't know. It made her really happy that I came around so often, and I brought her some alcohol to drink the sorrows away, and I don't know. It was even though we couldn't talk much, I don't know. My grandma is not like a person where I could ask her about like early times and shit. Like she was never that much of a like intellectual, I don't know, anything like that, or even emotional. And I don't know. And then I was also talking with like my aunt, the sister of my dad, and and I was like saying, she's like feeling pretty bad. I think you should come around soon. She doesn't want to have it anymore, and maybe you should come around and say goodbye as soon as possible. That was also something I could, tell my grandma quite a bunch, that, I know you want to die, but, you have to say goodbye, right? It's part of the good manner, right? And I don't know, that was like the thing I tried, and then they actually came around 15 days earlier than I expected, or what I have heard. And and of course, just after they have visited, just on the morning after she died, and and like on that day, they wrote me. My dad wrote me. I came around and I saw like my aunt, and my aunt has 2 daughters, which are my cousins, I guess, and and I don't know. It was it was somewhat weird, and and I don't know. And then we went to the where my to the, how do you call it, like that building where my how you call it, fucking, where the old people live or live nowadays. A pension? I don't know. Fucking hell. You know what I mean, right? Where the old people that get taken care of. Yeah, and And yeah, and my dad was like asking like us, if anyone wants to see her last time, even though she is dead. We could still go in the room if we want to. And then my cousin, I have like both of them, like the are girls. The one is like my age, and the other one is like 30 already. And yeah, and the older one asked me like, you want to go in the room? What do you think? And I was like pretty pretty confident saying yeah, I think so. And I don't know, it was kind of weird. I feel like it was kind of weird, but I don't know. I really wanted to do it for the experience. I kind of like to give myself a like little bit of like controlled traumatization, like a trauma vaccine. Because I don't know, we don't know where shit is going. Maybe I will have to see dead bodies again, and maybe it's good to have like somewhat of a resistance. And I don't know, it was just thrilling me a bit. And also since I don't know, I have seen her in her worst basically. I kind of wanted to see it, and I did. It was weird. I was the only person out of my family seeing her, and I was just sitting there for like 2 minutes, and I was like, I don't know. I just she also had the eyes opened and the mouth opened, and the body looked as dead as it could basically, and then I don't know. I was like, yeah, like the only. I mean, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad, and like it's not like that like flies are like flying into her mouth and shit. And then the fly came, and then it on her nose and ran from the nose down to like the upper thing of the mouth. And then I was like, okay, I think it's time to go. But I think it was worth the experience. Yeah, may she rest in peace. And I don't know. I hope she's at a better place or something. But I think most will do better than what she had at like the last weeks. And in the end, I think she didn't have to suffer as long. She was quite a mobile person. She did quite a few things in her later age, and I think it was just basically like the last year where it went somewhat bad. Yeah, I don't know. That was like something, and we all went into a bar after that because my dad wanted to drink a bit, and and then I don't know, they were like talking about like different stuff, and every topic they had, everyone triggered me. I basically had no how do you say it? I wasn't part of the conversation at all at the beginning. But they were like talking about like my younger cousin, she said, oh, it's so nice to my dad that you have your girlfriend, like the girlfriend of my dad, because you're both working as social workers. That must be so nice to have someone to talk to, because right, like my younger cousin, she is a policeman or policewoman, and her boyfriend is also in the police, and it's quite relieving to have like a partner who works like somewhat in the same field, right? And that was like one thing where I felt like, yeah, it would be kind of nice. Yeah, that is kind of nice if I'm honest. Let's see if I will ever find something like that. Then they were like talking about like the work my dad does, and they were talking about like, psychology shit. They were talking about like schizophrenia. They were talking about like also like the stuff they tell in the clinics all the time, that when like for what people these pills are doing good and shit, and and how people can't really manage their life anymore. Then they were like talking about like like drugs and drug abuse, which is also like a thing, right? And I don't know. And then they were like my older cousin, the one that asked me if I want to see the dead body. She was like basically saying like, you also must see like the worst of the worst, right? You see the deepest down of the human psychology and shit, and then my dad was saying to my younger cousin, but I mean, as a police woman, you also do that, don't you, right? And then they were like, like everyone I mean, like sucking basically each other's dick because they, like go so deep down into the human psyche and see the worst of the worst, right? And and I was just like sitting there, and I mean, like like the rest of my family has like basically no idea what I'm doing, but my dad does to a certain degree for sure. I mean, I confront him with a lot of stuff I have in my life, or that confronts me. So he knows quite well, but I don't know. I guess he didn't see it as that way, as actual work, and as actual that I'm actually studying anything, right? Yeah, and then they were like talking about like people killing themselves and using that as a threat to related ones. Which is also a thing, because every time I'm talking about it, how I'm sick of tired of this fucking life, my dad is always seeing it as a threat, right? That, okay, now you want me to do something or what, and then I always have to tell him, like, no, like, what the fuck? So it's just, it is what it is. It maybe would help if my dad wouldn't tell me that it's poison for the mind and shit, and maybe would take into consideration that maybe he didn't know it all along. But I also can understand that would change up his whole life and his relationship with his girlfriend, which is rolling pretty well with the narrative presented to them. His girlfriend is pretty fucking lefty. I don't know if I said it in one of the last things, but we had quite some fight about our political understandings, which also made it quite hard between me and my dad. But that is somewhat resolved, somewhat. Yeah, I know. And like the last thing was that my younger cousin, the policewoman, she had like a longer conversation with me, and she was like, "Oh, you didn't say anything. What's up with you?" And I mean, like my younger cousin, she's like a Stacy. Like, holy shit, she's like a Stacy. She has like she looks like a model. She basically looks like a model, and we had a very long conversation, and I don't know, she never really had to worry that much. She always had people around her. She never even came to the idea to download online dating because she's just getting around too good. Like she just has no problem, and she says like, oh, when you say like loneliness, that sounds so hard, man. Like, I don't know, I don't know it, and I feel like I don't want to know it. And she's goddamn right. She doesn't. I don't really think she wants to know what fucking loneliness really means. And I don't know. I mean, it kind of helped me because she was like saying, oh, you're so attractive, and you know so much, and you're intelligent and shit like that, But I know when family says that to you, it often feels like they just want to push you up again. They just want to give you some confidence to don't give up. And that was like the main thing she told me: don't give up, don't give up. And and the longer I told her what I'm actually doing, she actually understood it. Like I'm actually impressed. Like my younger cousin's actually kind of smart. And I mean, not younger. She's basically my age. She's maybe even 1 year older, right? But like from the two cousins who were present at that time, she was the younger one. And and also I was talking to my aunt, and I don't know. But like, you can't you can talk about anything, and then no. And and also the policewoman, and then she just like casually dropped that her boyfriend is like a 190 centimeter fucking giant, and not just that, but also like a guy from Iran. And she said, and we have like in Germany, we have like this word Kanako, which basically is like somewhat bad word for Arabic people. And she said, if you imagine yourself the word I just said, you would see him. And it's not really, I mean, I didn't say anything to that. I didn't say anything to that. I didn't let myself rage bait it, because I just know that, like, what's the point? Like, actually, just like, what's the point? Maybe it's a good guy. Maybe they are in love. It's all her thing. I don't know. But yeah, and I tried online dating again. That's also a thing because yeah, like the clinic didn't work because I didn't met anyone that changed my life. And yeah, and like sitting around here didn't change my life. My grandmother didn't change my life. And yeah, and then I was like, okay, fuck it, let's do the online dating shit again. And I mean, I could make like a whole own video about like fucking online dating. What fucking bullshit that is. Like, especially like these apps. Because the guy from the clinic, he told me, hey guy, you have to use Lavu. Lavu is the shit. And because I like before that I tried Tinder and Bumble, it was like, yeah, of course you don't meet anyone there. At Bumble they're all like the political brainwashed people, and at Tinder are only people who want to fuck. And of course you won't meet the people, and you have to use Lavu. There are more base people. And and then I was like thinking, okay, Lavu is a better thing, and but I thought it's the same. It's like 1-to-1, exactly the same as Tinder, as Bumble, as every one of these apps. They all work 100% the same. The amount of advertisement is crazy. The amount of money they want from you is crazy. How like I said, like I could talk hours and hours about like these fucking online dating apps and how they ruin everything. But it is what it is. It hasn't gotten me to anything yet. As except at New Year's Eve, just after I had this breakdown, you could say, a girl liked me, which was the first like I ever had in my online dating experience, or the only like I was taking somewhat seriously. You could say, if you wanted to see it like that, mathematically, it was the second like I got, right? Whatever. The other one I had like years ago when I was trying Bumble. And yeah, and then I couldn't see like the profile right, and then I needed like some fucking bullshit credits, and then like on these like it was like this fucking games I used to play on a fucking iPad, you know. You have to watch like an advertisement to get like some points and shit, you know, or download like some apps to get like some, and do like some tasks and some other browser shit which won't recognize it that you actually have done it, and then you have done like 50 minutes for nothing and shit, you know, all that bullshit. And then I basically just bought premium, you know. I mean, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, I sold my soul to the devil. But yeah, I don't know. And then I saw the profile to see she was from Zurich, from Switzerland, and she basically just wanted to have fun. She had like an Instagram profile linked, and the Instagram profile had a link to an OnlyFans. Yeah. So, yeah, that was that. Then nothing happened for another 3 or 4 weeks, and now, actually 2 days ago, I have opened the app again, since quite a week or something, and I have also turned down the notifications, because the fucking app is sending me like advertisement like every fucking minute, bro. Like every minute, Lavu, down, like do this, or a special thing, you can buy this now, and oh my god, bro, holy shit. So I turned that down, and I opened the app again to see I got another one, and not just a like, I got a message, and I checked the profile. And yeah, no, she was like a goth girl or something. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like, of course, I really want somebody who's invested in truth and knowledge. And she had like a saying in her profile that said like, we are all slaves to the hive mind, and it's our duty to break free. Which sounds promising. It sounds as promising as it gets, right? And the one that is in my profile, I just have the the original quote from Matrix with the pills, right? With the red and the blue pill, which I think was like somewhat fitting. Which also, of course, I know that if I just want likes, right? If I just want a date with any woman, I could make my profile a bit less in that way. But of course, it's not about that, right? So yeah, I know, and she already wrote me, right? And then I saw it was like 2 days ago, because I haven't opened the app in that time. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is the timing, right? Like the one time I decide to turn down the notifications and don't look for it, right? That's also something people like to gaslight you with, right? That you have to stop looking. If you look too much, you will not find it. And yeah, and I've wrote her back, and she hasn't wrote me back since. And I don't quite know how the chat is working, right? Because it's my first chat ever, but it only has one arrow. And usually on WhatsApp, one arrow means the message was sent but didn't receive the other device. So we don't know, but I feel like it's going nowhere. And yeah, I don't know. It's just one disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. I meet a guy who I think I could do my shit. At first, I meet the Norwegian guy, which I think, he could be like a real guy, a real friend, just to, do that thing that happened, just to see, okay, I cannot really contact that guy at any point, even though this guy knew perfectly what was going on inside my life. Then the guy at the clinic, right, which he didn't took the the thing I gave him, basically, like he didn't took the, what you said, huh, the fucking order, no. You know what I mean, right? I don't know what to say it. Whatever, fuck it. The contract, like he didn't wrote his name on the contract, like he declined my offer. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. He declined my offer. And and also just like a normal friendship, or like a friendship that actually benefits one another, it's also not really a thing that can happen. Then the girl from the clinic, where basically was like, I knew it like from the start, there was like nothing happening, but at least I thought, I don't know what I thought, I didn't expect it much, so I'm not really disappointed with that one, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know, it's just, yeah. And then like the online dating thing with the family and shit, and it's just, like one disappointment after disappointment. And I'm getting, of course, to points where the days where I question myself, I question, what the fuck am I even doing, what the fuck am I even trying, who the fuck am I even trying to save, and like the people that they want to change, they feel it, they also have the feelings I have and shit, but like I don't know, they, at the end, they don't want it. And most of the people are just fine with the system, and have no problem that we going into a new time, a new age, which maybe even deliberately cuts off things from the past, and then it's just, just the way it is, what should we do about it, right? I don't know, I just can't take that shit anymore, Yeah, I don't know, that was just like a small update. I'm still alive, but for me right now, I think it's like the last year I will do it. I've been on this road for quite some time, and I don't know, the amount of things I've seen, I'm pretty grateful for, right? So all the knowledge, all the struggles I had, the reliefs I had, right? If you finally understand where you're mixing things up, and where when you can finally set things a bit more straight and clear for you. I don't know, but like in the end, I tried so hard and all for nothing, right? All this like self-optimization and shit, just to, I don't know, be completely objectiveless on this world. There's just like nothing really to do, except like selling your soul to the system. I mean, of course you can do. you don't have to sell your soul to the system to just have a life and shit. I get that, right? But the potential I have and the things I want to do with my mind are a bit beyond the normal ways of work, and everything I could do inside of the system, inside of the black box, if you want to say it like that, is basically won't do any good won't do any good in my sense, in my perception of reality, right? And yeah, so I don't know. It's just a rough one. It's just a really rough one. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was just like a quick update, and yeah, I don't know. I will see if I will upload. Maybe I will try to get more into like specific stuff. Maybe I just do a video about online dating. I don't know. I have a bunch to say about that, but I don't know. Yeah, yeah. That's about it. And yeah, see you later, guys.